Hello UCE families. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to our second week of the month in our Soulful Home packet in our theme of deep listening. You might remember that last week we had a mantra, and the mantra was, I am listening. And you may have gotten something in the mail with a little card in it with the mantra on it. I hope you've been able to use that card as a reminder to keep listening to your heart as well as what's around you and others. So for this week, we are going to focus on two segments in the Soulful Home packet. And in case you haven't done this yet, you can find a link to the Soulful Home packet either in the newsletter or on the church website. And our first segment is Around the Neighborhood. It's a chance to explore the theme of deep listening in your area, of course, and in a physically distancing and safe way. And this month, our treasure hunt for deep listening is to collect sounds. Yes, sounds. Do you ever just sit outside and listen and notice what you hear? Depending on where you live, this might be easier said than done if you were listening for specific things in nature. So for an activity to do around your neighborhood is to collect some sounds. So one thing you could do is download a voice recorder kind of app on your cell phone and use that to record sounds around you. And in the Soulful Home packet, you will find a list of some suggested sounds that you could listen for, such as a plane flying overhead, or running water, or the sound of leaves rustling, especially now that they are starting to fall off the trees. Or what about the sound of a train whistle or a bus braking, that kind of hissing sound that buses make when they slow down and use their brakes? Whatever sounds you find. And when you record them, you could then play them for each other later in the evening, either over dinner or at bedtime, and play a kind of a guessing game, guess the sound, and see how creative and whether or not you can kind of fool other people with the sounds that you've collected. And if you don't want to do that with a voice recorder kind of app, you could just have a checklist of sounds. And as you hear things, just cross them off your list. Then our next segment is At Play. And that, of course, is a chance to have some fun. Games and activities that you can do as a family on our theme of deep listening. And this month is a little fun, of course. We have, first of all, Pig Latin. Yes. Pig Latin, that thing that we did when you were a kid, for those of us who aren't kids anymore. And if you are a kid, you probably are doing it or have done it recently. A very common thing to do. And the trick is to see if you could go maybe through your whole dinner time or even the whole evening, the family, just talking in Pig Latin and see how good you get. Or it might be very frustrating, especially for younger kids who are still learning the English language or other language. And if Pig Latin is just too easy for you, you could try talking in gibberish. Now, I always thought gibberish was just kind of thing. But I guess there's a little more to it. It has a strategy sort of like Pig Latin. And in the Soulful Home packet, you will see a link to a video that shows you the little strategies of talking in gibberish. So feel free to watch that. There's also one for Pig Latin too, but that's a little more common and a little easier to do. See if you can talk in gibberish. I had a hard time trying it, I must admit. One thing that might be fun to do if you do master the skill of gibberish is to see how fast you can talk in gibberish. And if you do watch this video, you will see that they can talk pretty fast. I was amazed. Another activity to do is what they call bee breath. Bee as in like bumblebee, B-E-E. And this is a yogic breathing technique that comes from India. And I have never seen this before. In the Soulful Home packet, you'll see a link to 2 videos. One is a yoga instructor who shows and explains it. And another one is a woman from the Unitarian Universalist Mountain Retreat camp. And so you can watch either video to see how to do it. And I gave it a try. And I'm going to show you how I don't know if I consider it mastered, but it is interesting. The idea is to cut off your senses other than your voice. So you have to plug your ears and close your eyes. And you make kind of a humming noise in the back of your throat. And it does kind of sound like a bumblebee. So it goes something like this. You press your thumbs on that little part of the ear that's right in front of the hole to your ear. I'm forgetting the name of that. And you press on that with your thumbs. And you can just rest your other fingers on top of your head like this. And you breathe in through your nose. And as you exhale, you make the vibrating sound in the back of your throat. Sort of like this. It sounds weird when you do it. It supposedly helps clear your mind and is good for reducing stress and blood pressure, things like that. And you can learn more about it if you watch the video in the Soulful Home packet. So have fun with that. And if you feel like it, record yourself doing the bee breath or gibberish or pig Latin and send me a little clip. I would love to see you guys trying these things. And then next week, our Soulful Home packet, we will be focusing on the part called From the Mailbox and On the Porch. So stay tuned, and until then, have a good week, and look for links in the newsletter for events coming up that you can participate in. Have a good one.